In today's session of Divorce Court, Kary Ramsey says her marriage to David was the biggest mistake of her life.
The first night that I met him, 4 hours later, he asked me to marry him.
And what did you say when he asked you to marry him 4 hours after you met?
Yes.
What? You didn't even verify his identity in 4 hours?
He just painted this pretty picture of what life would be like.
Was it a joke or were you serious?
To be quite honest with you, Your Honor, I felt sorry for her.
What's the matter? Oh, Jesus.
Today, Kary Ramsey struggles to face David Mundy one last time in divorce court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Kary Ramsey versus David Mundy. Mr. Mundy, I understand that you're ready for a divorce after 4 months of marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
Has the ink dried on the marriage certificate?
Barely, Your Honor.
So what could have happened in 4 months to make you want to end the marriage?
Your Honor, she's cheated on me.
You cheated on me first.
No.
Yes, you did.
No, that's a lie.
Yes, you did.
Cheated in 4 months, meaning having a relationship with somebody else?
Yes, Your Honor.
No, I did not. You cheated on me first.
I never one time cheated on her.
Yes, you did.
Tell me about it. From your point of view, then I'll hear from your point of view, Ms. Ramsey.
I have...
No, I'm still talking to Mr. Mundy, because he started this first. What are you talking about?
Your Honor, she's cheated on me. She's lied to me.
Well, what's cheated on me? Tell me what happened. What transpired?
All right, well, while I was in Texas in the military serving my country, she's off in Arkansas fooling with another man.
Only after
And you can see that from Texas?
Ma'am?
Could you see that from Texas?
No, ma'am.
So how do you know this?
When I got back from being in the military, I got back to Arkansas, and the person that she cheated on me with, he told me about it.
The other man told you?
Yes, Your Honor.
So why would you trust him?
Because then after that, I confronted her, and she admitted up to it.
So what did this man come up to you and say? And still live to tell it. What did he say?
Well, it's probably about 2 or 3 days after I had got back from Texas.
What did he say?
He just told me, he's like, I've heard from a lot of people that you're wanting to beat me up and stuff like that, and I need to let you know what really happened.
And then did he tell you what really happened?
He told me exactly what really happened. She had lied to him the whole time.
What is that? What did he say?
We was, quote-unquote, supposed to be getting a divorce. I knew nothing about that at the time. Everything seemed, quote-unquote, seemed to be doing all right.
It was not all right.
So you're saying the other man came to his, offered a defense for his conduct. Is that what you're telling me?
Pretty much, Your Honor.
And that your wife had told him that you and she were getting a divorce?
Right.
And that's why he slept with her?
Right.
So why would you accept his word?
Because everything that he had told me, she admitted up to that also.
Oh, Mrs. Ramsey, let me hear from you. What about that?
Oh, Lord.
Why are you looking at the sky? I'm talking directly to you.
I had received picture in the mail of him.
No.
Without
Tell
any
me
clothes
about
on
what
and
his
all that.
allegation is about you and this other man while
I did
he's
cheat
away
on
in the
him
military.
after he cheated on me.
All right. Did you have anything to do with another man while he was in the military?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
So what do you call that?
Well, he cheated on me, so...
Well, let's not
that was
talk
my way
about
to get
him
back.
yet. I want to get to you. You're just so determined to tell me about him. 2 wrongs don't make a right, but I'm going to let you tell about him too. But what happened? Why are you with another man 4 months after you're married?
Because he started lying to me from the very beginning of our marriage.
What did your husband say?
He lied to me about that he was on leave the day he asked me to marry him.
No, that's a lie, Your Honor.
No, it is not a lie.
Well, you know what? Let me hear all these lies, because both of you say that each other is telling a lie. So I don't know who's telling the truth and who isn't, but I need to hear both of you. Then I'll decide what I believe.
The first night that I met him, 4 hours later, he asked me to marry him. Said that
4 hours after you met, you got married?
Not 4 hours after we met. Not 4 hours after we met. He asked me to marry him 4 hours after we met.
That's what I'm just saying.
And then,
how? And what did you say when he asked you to marry him 4 hours after you met?
Yes.
What? What in the world possessed you to say yes to marry a man that you had known for all of 4 hours?
He just painted this pretty picture of what life would be like being married to him in the military.
So would you please paint the picture for me so I can hear it?
Let's see, traveling, not having to worry about your medical or dental or anything like that, you know.
No.
Because you
Be
knew he
with
was in the
him all
military.
time. Yes, ma'am.
So he said life would be a bed of roses.
Pretty much.
And you went for it?
Yeah.
4 hours?
Yeah.
How old are you, hon?
22.
Really? And you hadn't heard about the military?
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
Did you really believe that, or was it that you were just anxious to get married and get out of your parents' home? I mean, come on, tell me something that led you to accept
Well, I just
that
wanted to
tale in
get-
4 hours.
Well, I thought he was, you know, going to be the right one for me, so.
You hadn't had a relationship with anybody before?
Yeah.
Well, what were you trying to do, break the Guinness Book of World Records or something? 4 hours? Joe, do you even know a person's name? I mean, you ain't even verified his identity in 4 hours. I'm serious. You didn't even know who the man really was in 4 hours. You weren't sure that his name was David Mundy. I bet you didn't even look at a driver's license.
His military ID card.
You did look at that? Did it have a picture on it? So you knew his name was right. Did you know whether he was a mass murderer or a lover?
Well, if he was in the military, then I guess he couldn't be.
So you figured it was okay because he was in the military. I'm
Yeah.
serious. It's not a laughing matter to me. 4 hours after you meet a stranger, you never saw this man before in
Yeah.
your life?
I'd met him earlier.
That sounds a little
like
better.
3 months.
Thank you. Whew. 3 months before you at least had met him.
Yes, ma'am.
And had you dated him during those 3 months?
No, ma'am.
You just saw his face?
No, he was over at my friend's house that I was living with at the time, and he went with me to my friend's house for a couple hours.
And what you do then?
We talked with my friends, and then he went into the Air Force 3 days after that.
But you want, so when he came back and asked you to marry him, you didn't want to lose him and let him go away again. Is that it?
Pretty much.
Is that the way it went down, Mr. Mundy?
Yes, Your Honor.
So then, after you marry him, 3 days later, he's gone to the military.
No, ma'am. Well, yeah, okay. I see what you're saying now. That's right.
Am I right?
Yeah.
You get married, 3 days later, he's gone.
Not after we got married. No, ma'am. We got married 4 days later.
Met for 4 hours.
He told me that
married
he was
4
going to
days
have to go
later,
AWOL
and
for
4
us to
months
get
you
married.
divorced. Oh, 4 is your magic number.
When divorce court returns, the judge questions David about why he married Kary so quickly.
Was it a joke or were you serious?
To be quite honest with you, Your Honor, I felt sorry for her.
And Kary collapses in court.
What's the matter? Oh.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce Court is back in the case of Kary Ramsey, who said yes to David's marriage proposal after knowing him only 4 hours.
You expected to be loved, honored, cherished, and committed after 4 hours, Mr. Mundy? Did you promise her all that?
No, Your Honor, I didn't.
So what made you ask her to marry you after 4 hours?
What happened was we was on Panama City Beach, and she's the one started talking about marriage.
No, I did not.
Okay, did you accept when she started talking about it?
No,
I told her
I
I
did
had
not
to
start
think
talking
about it.
Well,
about
tell me
marriage.
about
No,
it
I
then.
don't
You
even
at
think so.
Panama City Beach. You've just met. It's a warm, hot, sunny day.
Night.
You're both, night.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, the sun is just setting, right?
It's past 12 o'clock.
Midnight,
Yes, Your Honor.
by yourself on the beach.
Pretty much.
Probably shouldn't have been there, right? Beach clothes.
Right.
Naked.
No.
Bathing suits.
No.
What's going on? You on the
Jeans.
beach with all your clothes on?
Jeans and T-shirt.
We went there with a whole bunch
So
of
you
friends
just
of
went there
ours.
for a walk on the beach.
Right.
And then what happened?
After a day, or I guess it's a day.
No, she said 4 hours.
No, Your Honor.
We met at 11 o'clock that night at a sports bar, and 4 o'clock that morning we was on Panama City Beach with a bunch of friends of ours that went down there to walk on the beach.
You remember that part?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then, within that 4 hours, he asked you to marry. You forgot that part. Mr. Mundy, I'm talking to you.
I slept on that, Your Honor.
You forgot that part.
I did not ask her to marry me that same night.
Yes, you did.
So you don't even know when you proposed. Do you remember that you proposed?
Yes, Your Honor.
But do you know what you said?
Not word for word. I did ask her to marry me.
Had the two of you been drinking?
No, Your Honor. I wasn't.
Was it a joke or were you serious?
To be quite honest with you, Your Honor, I felt sorry for her because of her previous 2 marriages.
There is nothing wrong with my previous 2 marriages.
Wait a minute, but you must have found out about this afterwards, right?
I found out about this before. I felt sorry.
What? In the 4 hours you found out there were 2 previous marriages?
Well, now this was before I went into basic training, into the military.
So wait a minute, but this is after you've asked her to marry you, you find out there's 2 more.
No, I knew that before.
Wait a minute. When did you find that out?
The 3 months before.
When you first met her, 3 months before, you knew there were 2 previous marriages.
Right, and I felt sorry for her.
And you were going to stay committed to her?
Yes.
She didn't tell you what role she played in those 2 previous marriages, though, did she?
No, ma'am. When I went AWOL, and then we was on Panama City Beach, and all that was happening, all that was rolling back in my head before I went into basic training.
So you didn't know whether she'd be loyal, whether she'd be faithful, if she didn't even knew the word?
She thought that knowing somebody not very long would be better than knowing somebody for a long time. And
well, obviously, you both thought the same thing. Didn't you go down the aisle together and get married, or was it just you?
Both of us.
Were you both there?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you must have agreed with her thought.
Yes, Your Honor.
Don't try to put it all on her. So now you're saying that he cheated on you. Tell me about that.
One weekend, I tried calling and finding him when he was in Texas and I was in Arkansas. And his friends...
Wait a minute. Maybe you guys didn't have enough passion. Was there ever any passion in this marriage?
The first 2 weeks. And
Just
then
2
he went
weeks?
back to Texas.
Because now you're standing there like this. Are you angry about it? Are you upset?
Upset at him? Yes, ma'am.
So what did you find out 2 weeks afterwards?
That's when he had went back to Texas and everything. And then 2 weeks after he went back, I went and tried to get in touch with him with the numbers that he had given me to get in touch with him. And the guys were saying, well, he's at PDA Park with some other girl. Who's this? And I was like, well, this is his wife. And they're like, well, do you know what PDA Park is? I was like, no. And they're public display of affection.
Tell me, what's that?
Public display of affection park.
Oh, so he was at some particular love place with somebody else?
Yes, ma'am.
And his friends told you that?
Yes, ma'am.
When you called him on the telephone?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's when you decided that the marriage was over?
Yes, ma'am.
Nobody tried to work it out?
I didn't even get a phone call, Your Honor.
Because you weren't there.
You said it's over, just like that?
Yes, ma'am.
So as quick as you said I do, you said, just as quick as you said I do, you said I don't.
I didn't go and look for, a guy to cheat on with right then or anything like that.
You know what? You didn't go to look for anything because in 4 hours you weren't looking at all. So you didn't know what you were looking for. What can I do for you? So it won't be longer than 4 hours. You remember now, we got to keep this at 4. So let's go, 4. That's your magic number.
Your Honor, I went to PDA Park just about every day. That's where everybody hangs out.
I understand, but your 4 is just about up, so let's keep it at 4. Okay. What you want me to do for you?
Well, while I was in Texas, I loaned her my truck. Or I let her drive around because
your sister was with me. I had to bring her back.
I could have went to Texas by myself, Your Honor.
Okay, so she's driving your truck. Now what you want?
Because she, quote unquote, was going to get her a job. She never did until a week or 2 before
because you
I got
kept
back
changing
to
your
Arkansas.
mind. 1 week you wanted me to go down there. 1 week you wanted me to stay up in Arkansas, and it just kept changing all the time.
But you loaned her the truck so she could look for a job.
You're right.
And what happened to the truck?
I gave her 2 rules. Don't let nobody drive it and keep it out of the mud. Okay, I get back, the transmission...
But trucks are made to be in mud, aren't they?
Well, not the way this one was.
What's the matter? Oh, Jesus.
When divorce court returns, will the judge be able to render her verdict? And an update on the case of Nancy Tucker versus Wendell Tucker.
Once you said, I do,
he flipped out. We were married a month when he left.
Divorce Court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce Court is back in the case of Kary Ramsey, who fainted while giving testimony about her 4-month marriage to husband David.
Mrs. Ramsey, are you okay?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened?
I have a witness
now, what happened
to
you?
His testimony.
Why did you faint?
Hypoglycemic.
Hypoglycemic? So am I. Did you eat today?
Sort of.
Sort of. You ate junk.
Bagel.
Didn't eat a full meal.
No, ma'am.
And it's about 8 hours or 10 hours since you've been up today. Now, you know better.
Yes, ma'am.
You should eat like you're supposed to. I'm glad that's all it was. Where's the dent?
Your Honor, may I approach the bench to
I
explain?
see the dent on this picture here. You said this is from her kicking it?
Yes, Your Honor.
That little woman couldn't have kicked this kind of dent?
Yes, Your Honor, she can.
You weigh all of 100 pounds, if that, right?
120.
And you say it's from her kicking?
Now, Your Honor, there's one picture in there that she took her car door. She also admitted up to this, too. She took her car door and beat it up against the side of the bed of the truck, which might be the picture that you're looking at, I don't know. In the chrome piece, there's still a little bit of red paint from her car.
All right, I see that. And you're saying that she rammed her car door against yours, deliberately?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, when'd you get this truck?
Back when I was AWOL.
Before you married her?
Right after me and her got married, because she sold her car. I told her she didn't need to. All we had was a U-Haul that we was renting when we was moving from Florida to Arkansas.
Did you damage his truck?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Because that was the day after I had got the picture of him in bed with another woman.
Oh, you found a picture of him in bed with another woman?
One of his roommates in his dorm had mailed it to me.
After you got married?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
No, it is
Ain't
not.
no way.
Yes, it is.
So you dented the truck?
Yes, ma'am.
Out of anger?
Yes, ma'am.
And what about driving the truck? You're saying that Mr. Biggs was the one driving the truck?
Yes, ma'am.
So you didn't damage the transmission?
No, ma'am. I was in the passenger seat. He had it, it was actually in reverse, going full force, and slammed it into first gear, and that's when the transmission broke.
What is the cost of the repairs?
Your Honor, I got some estimates right here from Dodge dealership on the transmission and also on the bodywork.
Let me see.
I got all the estimates right here. The estimates on the bodywork, Your Honor, is just from those pictures. I took the pictures up there, and just what he's seen out of the pictures is all that is.
So $961?
Yes, Your Honor.
For the bodywork? And $1,750 for the transmission?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage.
Now, the transmission on that for my truck is that's for a rebuilt transmission. That's not a brand new one.
Well, you know what, Mr. Mundy? You haven't proved to me that she deliberately destroyed the transmission or caused the damage. You haven't told me that she was driving the truck in any manner other than how it should be driven. It's a four-wheel drive. Four-wheel drives are made to go in the mud. If something happened to it while she was trying to get out of it, does that mean that that's her fault? Or does it mean that she was trying to get out of the mud the best way she could and caused damage to the transmission? How do I know? Could have been just normal wear and tear that caused damage to the transmission. Really doesn't matter. Because you gave me one main word. Let me just tell you, so you can save your breath. You gave me one main key. You bought the truck after marriage. You wasn't married before months, but you bought it after marriage. So therefore, it's a community item. Yes, bottom line, community item. 4 months of marriage gets her possession and interest in the truck. And as a result of that, the repairs for it is a community obligation. She's not solely responsible for it, nor are you. Each of you has to pay half for the repairs to the truck and the damage caused by the denting. Didn't you have insurance? It's a new truck.
Currently, right now, no.
Did you have insurance at that time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you turned it in to your insurance company?
No, Your Honor, because when I got back, I owed $4 and I knew nothing about it.
Well, that's what the 4 hours, 4 days, and 4 months got you. Half of the payment for these damages. Court's adjourned.
When Divorce Court returns, an update on the case of Nancy Tucker versus Wendell Tucker.
So what was so bad about the relationship a month after marriage that you were like, I'm out of here?
Closed captioning for Divorce Court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in Divorce Court. Nancy Tucker said that just a few weeks after she and her husband Wendell got married, he left her for one of her bridesmaids.
Once you said, I do,
he flipped out. This is the one he ran off to sleep with after me. We were married a month when he left.
So what was so bad about the relationship a month after marriage that you were like, I'm out of here?
I wanted to be able to do what I wanted to do.
Oh, come off of it.
Nancy wanted Wendell to return her family heirlooms, a watch and a gold ring, but the judge decided that Wendell could keep the watch and the ring because they had been given to him as gifts. After they left court, Wendell got a new job and a new place to live and hopes his next girlfriend won't treat him like such a child. Nancy also has a new job and a brand new car. Now she hopes to meet a new boyfriend who will act more mature.
I regret a lot of stuff that happened. I was foolish for the fact that I did not, I wasn't thinking.
3 days is a very short time to be married, or to get to know somebody before you get married.
I'll get married on in the future, not anytime soon.
Grow up.